live yet. All right. I guess you can't lie.
All right, we're
Yeah.
live now, man. Peace to anybody who's watching, and thank you for joining me
Yeah.
on the Foul Playland. As always, I'm your foul player. Did I fucking start or what? Like,
Yeah, you
it's showing
started.
that
You
I won't lie.
started your live. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Mike
but
saying he can't get on for some reason.
nah, I think he's out and about, bro. Good for him. Let the youth play. But peace and welcome to the Foul Playland. As always, I'm your foul player. I'm with my esteemed guest, Tyrone Smith. Tyrone, if you could let the people know where we could find you. Give a real
Wait.
assessment. Don't give your like. Let us know your channel. Like,
Well, I'm TS Boxing on YouTube. I don't do enough content as I should, mostly because there's really nothing to talk about. Everybody, well, for me there isn't. I'm pretty. I there's very few subjects I can keep going on and on about, and you know, there's not many in boxing. So when I see something, I just say it, and that's pretty much it. But as a whole, I'll just repeat what I've said to LL behind the scenes.
no, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. We'll get to
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah, and we thanks for tuning in, Watcher. And if Watcher, I sent the link out on
He
the
wants to
WhatsApp
see
group.
me explode.
Yeah, no, we're gonna we gotta build it up to a slow cook and then explode. Um, but if and also too, if anybody who's listening now or later on, if you could please subscribe to my man Watcher, who's listening in. And again, Watcher, if you're wanting to jump in at any point, feel free. I sent the link out on the WhatsApp group. Actually, I'll put the link out on the fucking StreamYard too. I never done this, but did I do it? Okay, yeah.
Yep, yep.
Um, yeah. I mean, first things first. I mean, like the easier things to talk about as far as boxing goes, and we were cooking behind the before we even started this stream as far as like what little bit of what we thought about the fight and a little bit more so as far as the state of Tyrone as it relates to what's happening this weekend with him, like, and exacerbated by the fight that we saw this evening. I had a different of I had a little bit of a different opinion. Not much different. I thought that Jermall Charlo, he didn't look great, but I think he looked okay. Like he didn't look terrible. But that's more me. Like as far as I mean, I'm the first one to knock Jermall Charlo. I think that his career it's I'm not gonna say it's plateaued, but he ain't doing shit with his career. But
I don't know. I think I mean, for me, I do have a couple of I have some principle, dude. I mean, like in things I do in my life, like it does get to a point where, listen, just do it like Gary Russell, man. Gary Russell refused. He's not gonna fight a bum, dude. He'd rather not fight than to fight a bum.
see, but like that
There's
well,
not enough guys out there
no, I'm gonna
who
give a
do stuff
career
like that.
assessment, like as far as like you know, and I want you to cook on that too. More on that. Honestly, like I rather talk about that than about yo peace to Michael Johnson boxing talking more. He said Alpha player be giving um his ex shorty back shots. I think that's what he meant to say. But yo and please if you guys are listening, subscribe to Michael Johnson boxing talking more. He said Charlo's them gummies. Yeah, but no, I like the bigger subject matter at hand, like within the stream, is more of like where the Charlo stand as far as what Jermall Charlo stands as far as his career, like because I like what you just recommended. I think that he should take one of these options as far as extremes, as far as like don't fight at all or fucking I personally think that he should fight a bunch of times per year. If it's like lackluster competition, not twice a year. But we'll get to that in a second, though. As far as like the like how this fight went, what do you think, Tyrone? Like
I mean, I
just the
felt
fight, though, tone of the
he
fight.
won. He basically won almost all of the rounds, but I mean, he was getting touched and he was getting hurt and he was getting clipped. At the end of the day, I don't care what anybody says or these protectors. This was a showcase fight. for the Charlos or the for Jermall. This was a showcase fight, and he fumbled. I mean, for a bum to train his heart out, that just means one extra round of survival. That's all that means.
If that.
If that. That's all that means. So for people to make up, oh well, he fought Munguia and he has a resume and he knocked out Kirkland. No, he was a bum. He was a bum, and all these guys gotta end up picking a side anyway, right? You know, if you fuck with Wilder and some other guys, then you don't fuck with the Charlos. Point blank. Period. You can't really fuck with them both. Maybe if you just about boxing, then you can. But the defending and buck dancing I see for the Charlos, I don't know why. I have no idea why.
As far
Listen,
as
I'll be
like
the first
content
one to tell
creators
you.
defending it,
Huh?
you saying as far as like content creators, like Buck Dancing and create?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Our
I think so
buddies.
too. I've been
Our
saying it.
buddies. They've been protecting this guy for a long time. I've hated the Charlos for a long time, mostly because of their personality. And every time I opened my mouth about it, they'd be like, "Oh, shut up! You're just a hater. Stay on code." Shut the fuck up. Now that he's talking stuff about Wilder, they're still trying to protect him. They're saying, "Oh, and not just Wilder. They run their mouth about everybody. All these guys do is they run their mouth, but they're not all that.
Who, the
The guys
Charlos?
they run, yes, all they do is run their mouth. The two of them, they're both marks. They're both marks. The two of them, even Jermall. The only reason Jermall has a belt is because all those guys he fought can't take a punch if their life depended on it. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be honest here. Let's start. Hatley cannot take a punch. John Jackson could not take a punch. He was losing that fight. Lubin cannot take a punch. Rosario cannot take a punch. Harrison
And
cannot
Lubin's
take a
trash
punch.
too. And Lubin is lackluster.
Yeah,
Between
Lubin is
lackluster,
not as good as I thought he was anymore,
no,
especially
not
after
at all.
his
Like
last fight.
nobody could
Yeah.
say like, no, Lubin's like a healthy competition. Like, yo,
No,
you beat Lubin.
Rosario is a bum. Rosario's a bum. Did you hear what Jermell said? Jermell is laughable. First of all, he said he'd send shooters after Tony Harrison a while back. And Tony Harrison called him a cornball, which he is. He has no shooter. So he was like, oh, and Wilder said he'll slap me. Yeah, Wilder will probably slap you. He said, oh, I'll just send shooters after him. You won't do shit. You don't have a single shooter who will do anything for
I
you.
ain't hear
You
any of
don't
this
have
stuff.
a
Like, give us a rundown, like, because I haven't heard anything like what you're talking about.
well, he did an interview saying, "Oh, well, I like Wilder and all of this stuff." So he's backpedaling on the stuff he said about race doesn't matter or whatever. And then he comes out and says, and for Wilder to say he'll slap me, oh, well, we don't need it to go there because I'll have people who'll go to prison who'll shoot for me or something like that. Why? Because he'll put you in a spiral because you can't fight him. He's a big motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean,
Eh,
like behind the scenes though. I mean, I'm not gonna. There's kind of like public knowledge now too, like that both Charlos like are fucking like just real shitty with people,
Corny.
like with fans or with um content creator interviewers.
They're
Oh, they're
lame.
mad
I've been
corny.
saying these guys are lame for a
No,
long
I mean like,
time.
and I hear a lot of people saying it, and like they're probably like the
And the
size of
worst thing is
Charlo.
they dick ride all their fights. How many times they've dick rided Wilder's fights, Broner's fights? They dick ride. They fuck, dude. Let me tell you what they do. Let me tell.
Who? Like you mean
Huh?
like content creators, Dick Ride, or like
I mean they're like content creators sometimes. Why do Charlos? Why do some of these guys go to the fights? The Charlos are at every PBC fight more than anybody else. Every PBC fight, they're front row, cooning and spooking out and niggering out. Yes, I said it.
damn.
That's what they're doing. All of these guys, they've got to wear chains. Why do I don't wear chains. Why do we gotta wear chains? Why we gotta put earrings on? I haven't worn earrings in 3 years.
No, I mean I can't really
Why do we gotta do all that? Why do we do all
no, but
that? That's
I
so
can't be overly
annoying.
critical in that regard because
They all do it,
no,
which
I
I'm
mean
tired
yeah,
of.
a lot of them do that, but to me it's more like a case of like fucking like the Charlos can't walk anywhere singularly, like without being like paired up, like and have a bunch of people like know who the fuck they are, like and that's what a
Nobody
lot of
will know.
boxers.
Nobody will know who they are. And Danny
Yeah, but that's a
Jacobs,
lot of boxers though to me.
yeah, nobody will know who any of these guys are.
Yeah, but that's and again, like I think that's a lot of boxers. Like as far as like if boxer A, especially PBC cats, I mean like which a lot of there are a lot of channels that are
They
extremely
spook out in those corner cams, dude, and those cams that they pop up. They coon out. They're like
what do you
Charlo in
mean
the
like
house.
the celebrity cam like
The celebrity cams, they start doing it all. They start doing it all. If I had ever had a celebrity cam on me and I was sitting ringside, I'd be there with nappy hair, sweatpants, and give a big thumbs up like a white guy. That's all I would do. But they got to
I mean
dance. Broner started it, and they just copying him.
yeah, but
They're
Broner had
lame.
it. These
They
dudes don't
wish
though.
they would love to be.
Yeah,
Exactly. They can't
yeah.
even be Broner.
Broner
They're
is like them
wannabes.
times 10. Like these guys aren't Broner as far as having that gift. Like, and I'm not saying like Broner's been mashed. Um, but
Yeah, he's been boxed up and everything like that. But
yeah,
he
but
started all of
Broner
this
would
stuff.
sell more than both Charlos.
Oh
Like
yeah, listen, Charlo's last pay-per-view together, they could not crack 100K. But nobody reported it, of course, because they need to protect him.
yeah.
Fuck them.
Watcher said
They're weird.
can't say one bad word about the Charlos
Yeah,
I
you
found.
can't. You can't. And the thing is, even when, let's be honest, Wilder is basically the PBC top dog now. Before it was Broner, but or Mayweather, then Broner for a little bit. Now it's now it's Wilder. Wilder's top dog, and he's going against your guy, and now you're still looking for. Oh well, they didn't mean it. There must be some misunderstanding. You know, what I mean, they come up with excuses in their head.
As far
Oh
what
well,
excuses as far as the beef that Wilder and like the Charlos
yep,
have?
yep.
Oh, okay, okay. I don't. Again, I like anybody listening. I don't know about that beef. Like maybe that's something that happened like in the off channels, but I mean, or in the back channels or like in Twitter or something. But I
This
don't have
really
like
all started. This all started, especially with
yeah.
Jamel.
Let us know like about that whole thing, like the
This
beef
all
between them.
started because Wilder picked Lubin over Jamel because he didn't know who Jamel was at the time. Now I will give it to Jamel. I'd be mad if somebody didn't know what they were talking about and picked me over them. I mean, honestly, I would, I wouldn't be happy either. I'm just being real. But that's something you can talk to him about. And then after that, he just started dick riding Wilder's fights, like just coming to the fights, being all this. And now he went and trolled Wilder and said race doesn't matter or something like that on one of his interviews.
That I do remember.
Yeah, and tried to say Fury fucked him up and all of that stuff. I don't like the word ass kicking either in boxing. I don't like the word ass kicking either in boxing.
Did he say that Wilder received an ass kicking from Fury?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said something along
Okay.
those lines. And then he said, well, Fury didn't cheat and all of this stuff and race doesn't matter and all of this stuff. And Wilder said, well, you need to be slapped for that. And you're a stupid bitch. And then Jermall says, oh, well, I like Wilder. And I didn't mean start backpedaling. And then said the stuff about shooters. And then said, fuck Fury and fuck Wilder. Because he's scared. He's weird. And listen, and I'll tell you this. I know he used his wife's account to make that post that he did because she doesn't know anything about boxing. And he beats his other girl, too. He had another girlfriend that he beat up.
Hold on. We have a human missile amongst us coming through in the chat now as we speak. Michael Johnson, boxing talking more. I think Michael Johnson may have had a few refreshments this evening.
Yeah, he
Oh
did.
man, baby, let me tell you something. Guinness, anything less is uncivilized.
I think Michael Johnson pissed outdoors this evening too, by the look of him.
Nah, I ain't pissed outdoors. I just had a
Well, I
football. I
did
had a
today.
football game earlier, and then I drove down over here. Uh, so I got to fix my house up. You know, uh, but what you gentlemen talking about tonight?
Nothing
No,
much.
well, what
Just starting, right? Yeah.
Tyrone was just putting me on as far as like the incidents that happened between the Jamel Charlo and Wilder, which I wasn't privy to, but I wasn't privy to everything. But no,
I
he just
just
gave me the
like.
rundown.
I just need people to be real. I don't even know why I feel to, play the shield for Wilder myself. I don't know why I do it. Like I was telling Laws the day before Wilder Fury 2, that morning, I woke up in a sweat, like almost as if something bad was gonna happen. Like, how does that make sense? How me wake up in a sweat dreaming about another man who I don't know? How weird is that? That's embarrassing. But I
Well,
can say it. I can say that and admit that. But we got
it's a
this
combination.
Giles.
It's a combination of letdowns
Uh-huh.
and painkillers that has you admitting to all these faults.
No, no, no. I said this. I said this before a couple
I'll
months
fuck with
ago,
you, bro.
like about this story. Like I fucking woke up in a sweat, and fucking, I
Nah,
was
but
I'm living I was living alone. I'm at campus, but I woke up in a sweat. I got my shirt off, fucking dreaming like what's
no,
gonna happen. Almost as if something's bad about another man. Like that's so weird. That's really embarrassing.
no, and personally, like I mean, like I've assumed the role of a somewhat defense by like as far as like the content that I made in the past what had a lot of Wilder like to it, but that was because there was so much trollery going on like for
I think it's
AJ
because
or
he doesn't
anti
really
Wilder.
put it's because he doesn't really put anybody else down. I always see him uplifting other people. That's why. And he already gets
Yeah,
enough hate, so
yeah, but even
help this
even
mug
then
out.
though, like I mean I think I may have erred in my ways in a sense, like in doing that. I mean it's not like a lot of shit that was happening then like that I was like looking past like fucking Wilder doing like oh shit like Wilder played himself and I'm not gonna report it. Like I mean there wasn't any of that going on like when I was assuming that role in a sense. But I think I was reacting to like the other element as far as the trollery that was happening like with fucking AJ fans or with anti Wilder fans. I'm not gonna say Fury fans because they're not like Fury fans really. But
Listen, if the
like
anti-Wilder people want to say his first 30 fights he didn't fight anybody, cool. If you want to say he's not very good technically, cool. Just keep it with the facts. Don't start character assassinating stuff, man.
yeah,
It kind of gets irritating. Somebody will bite back eventually.
I
no,
mean,
but
well,
like
like y'all
go
know,
ahead, my bad, Mike.
like I keep trying to tell you guys, and a lot of things I say like is fucking true. Like, LFL players, you tried to say, the PBC possibly didn't do Deontay Wilder right. And, we find out this. I told folks from day one when Charlo said that shit, I said, yes, he has the right to his own opinion, but how he said it didn't sound right. And when you say things like that, you need to clarify it. And he didn't clarify it. And now that he has clarified it, now you can hear that it's the whole overall thing. And I don't think them two guys should really be going back and forth with any type of hate and or discontent with one of another because one another's opinion. I think they should just let it be. Um, now,
But Jamel is a bird though, bro. Like I mean,
no,
like
Jamel is a lame.
I didn't
Is a
know that.
it
born
doesn't
lame.
matter.
He's
It
really a
doesn't.
cornball.
But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if he's a lame, he's a bird, whatever the case may be. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we can't stop what he feels like saying on a daily basis, and we damn for sure can't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? But we do all love boxing. Now there's gonna be fights that we're gonna have him. There's gonna be fights that he's gonna have to where we either gonna pick him or not pick him.
No,
You
every
know what I'm saying?
fight
And that's it.
I'll be picking for the other person. Even if that person had killed my mom, I'd be picking for that person to beat Jermell Charlo.
Well, Tyrone, that's your
Hands down.
prerogative, man. But I don't. I don't. I
It'll
don't.
be the rooting team. I would like
No,
to be
I
every
mean,
obstacle.
I'm
I
not
want to
gonna.
be the carbon. I want to be the carbon monoxide in the air. I want to be the speed bump in the road for these guys. I want to
I'm
be the one on the way team. Every obstacle. I want to be the door that closes them out. I want to stop them from doing everything.
well, Tyrone. I'm not. Look, look. I put it. I put it. This is what I say. Right. When you say something and you don't clarify it, when you on that level of where he's at and some of these other boxers are at, because they're damn near like public figures. You know what I'm saying? Whether or not it's for the sport of boxing or their hometown or whatever, people look up to them. So when you
Who?
say things and you're not precise,
Those dusty ass kids that they've got.
and
That's cool.
don't say that. Don't say that because
That's cool.
that's
That's
going a
their
little bit too
kids. I
far.
mean, they're gonna
No,
look
no,
up
no,
to them.
no, no, no. It sounds funny, but
Schools, whatever.
that's not nice. Those are kids, those babies. They can't they cannot dictate how they came here in this life. So let's not do that. But what I would say is that in this the way he said it, right, is the way it should have been taken. Because he said it to that's his way of clarifying what he said. But if he explained it all the way through, then we probably wouldn't been in this predicament. He
Yo, Mike,
probably wouldn't be.
let me cut you off real quick. But yeah, I left the link for the StreamYard. If anybody wants to jump on, you're more than welcome to. It's StreamYard, whatever the fuck I have on the screen now. And Mike, if you could clarify as far as like your last point, like like you're speaking of like what Jermall Charlo's statements were like regarding
Yeah,
Wilder.
yeah.
That's
You can't say things like that and not clarify. You have to be precise in what you're saying because anything you say after that, people have two options: to believe you or not to believe you. Because now at this point, it's either you're trying to show face, trying to tell a lie, or trying to tell the truth in what you were saying, and nobody's gonna be able to tell the difference because you already said it.
Nah, I feel what you're saying. I mean, but at the end of the day, I mean, like fucking that was some corny ass shit. Like I didn't know the whole
And the thing, and
shooter
the
thing,
crazy,
and like
and the thing is, first of all, he has no shooters. He's a bum. I mean, Harrison exposed him, told him he had no shooters. He was a cornball, and he was lame. And listen, if Harrison had went those 12 rounds, he would have won that fight easy. He was beating on him without any issues, but he just can't take a punch. Like
in
all
fight
rest
one or
of
fight
Jamel's
two,
fight two. In
he was
all of
doing way
Jamel's,
better in fight two too.
he was doing way better in fight two. The only reason
And
he
not for
got
nothing too. I mean,
overconfident.
like Jermall Charlo kind of has a little bit of a bitch point in him in the sense that he should have
Yeah,
gave Harrison fight three, like fucking because
he doesn't want that. He
yeah.
probably won't give it to him. But
He's a very fickle man. Like the both of the Charlos are very fickle.
yeah, they're
No,
very
I
weird and
said shit
awkward.
like
Nobody
that a
really
long
likes
time
them.
ago. I
I
said
said
that a long
they're
time ago. They weirdos.
yeah, but see, but the moment you open your mouth about that back then, what do people say? Oh, you're just a hater, man. Stay on code. What are you
Well,
doing?
no, no, this is what they did. This is what people did.
Yo, hold on.
This is
Yeah,
what
Before
bullshit.
my bad, bro. Before anybody continues, bro. Like if anybody tells me something about being on code regarding fucking my fanship of boxing or who I could criticize in boxing, I'm gonna tear them apart from this day forward. Like today is June 20th of the year 2021. Don't tell me what the fuck I can and can't say about any boxer. Like fucking at the end of the day, these dudes I'm paying for them to well, I'm sort of using my time to rip their streams like to let them beat the shit out of each other. Like I'm not paying for
And they
this
should
shit. Like
they
fucking
should send you a thank you card for that
yeah,
because
bro.
nobody
Like fucking
knows
yo,
who
like
these
you
people
don't get
are.
my undying loyalty because I fucking like to see you fight for and see your prominence for 6 years. Like there's no code on this shit. YouTube boxing is fucking corny as fuck. Like there's code on like fucking what channels you can or can't like go on to and chat like fucking without getting harassed on other channels. There's fucking code on like fucking what boxes you can and can't speak on, like fucking and if you do, you can only watch a certain set of channels and you can't, like, that's corny as fuck. YouTube boxing is corny as fuck. Like fucking I hope that I'm not in that vein. And I in my spare time I like to menace like people that are at the forefront of enforcing corny shit like that, as far as staying on code on YouTube boxing. And while I'm at that, like let me say fuck King Louis and fuck I am Ill Will. And this is my statement, not anybody on my panel. Like, but please continue.
Yeah, Mike, go ahead. What were you saying?
Again, that's my statement.
What happened to? Yeah.
Before time. Go ahead, Tyrone.
No, I want to know what happened after. I can probably, what's it called? Assume what happened after you said a long time ago they were weirdos, but you tell the story what happened.
Yeah. So basically, what happened is like, you know, I don't give a fuck, right? Like, if I know they were weirdos, like just the way they speak, and I said it. Like, I see Devin Haney, I see Shakur, and I tell motherfuckers like, well, nigga, I don't know about him, like, cause like, who the fuck they fought? Okay, a one-legged fighter, and he fought this guy. Like, come on, let's be real. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is that, you know, Tyrone's seen it. Like, every time you say something that's against the grain, you got niggas on your channels and shit like that. People don't know how to just take your opinion and just and argue with your opinion without personally attacking. You see what I'm saying? Without personally attacking you. Like motherfuckers would, like, I would tell motherfuckers straight up, right? And this is how it should be. Motherfuckers need to learn they fucking place. You're a fucking boxing fan. There's promoters got to know their place. The fighters got to know their place. Everybody needs to know they fucking goddamn place. You ain't got no business as a boxing fan trying to tell a fucking another boxer what they fucking should take. Because at the end of the day, if you want to see Earl, you want to see Crawford that bad, get in the ring, you ain't got no fucking business talking about, well, he should just take this, he should just take that. How come two niggas can't just make the fight? You want to see it that bad, right? You want to see that fight got that goddamn bad. But at the end of the motherfucking day, them two dudes can't even negotiate on a fucking contract. They're not even talking about it. It's not even getting in there. And you want to sit up over here and talk about, oh, he only got this, he only got that, his numbers is this, his numbers is that. No, the fight is so big, you want to see it. How bad do you want to see it?
And notice this. I'm going to call them adversarial Negroes. Gary Russell, Demetrius Andrade, Terrence Crawford, guys who are in direct opposition to their best fans, Haney, Spence, and Charlo. They put them down. Gary Russell was down. I remember a year ago. You remember it, Mike. They tried to say, oh, Gary Russell is ducking Shakur Stevenson. He's ducking fucking, who's that other guy before he lost? What was his name? Josh Warrington. Terrence Crawford. You know what? I actually like Terrence Crawford's personality. He is fighting bums, and he needs to move over and do something, you know, fuck Bob Arum, something, make your own moves, but he's a good fighter, honestly. Who else? Demetrius Andrade is a good fighter. Listen, why can't Eddie Hearn is begging to get Charlo in there, is saying, look, I will pay you money. Just come over to the zone. Oh, no, we're not coming over to the zone. Oh, we're staying with Showtime. Showtime doesn't even have a $50 million budget this year for boxing, dude. It's gotten less and less and less. And you know where most of that money is going this year? Guess. You saw it. Jake Paul. They signed Jake Paul on a multi-fight deal. These boxers aren't getting that shit.
And it's a lot of times, like, you know, and honestly, personally, me, Joey Cologne, like fucking this is like about like my disenfranchisement like with YouTube boxing didn't happen with channels that I detested or didn't like. Like my disenfranchisement with YouTube boxing happened with channels that I love. So you know, and it's basically combating like the trollery with trollery, or like basically combating like fucking substandard with a different set of substandards. Like you know, and that's why I you know, and then like you know, if I critique it, like, and I've had it like a lot of times, like in fucking chats, like people like, oh, you know, like these Latin cats always want to tell like you know who to, like to do what. I'm like, yo, my man, like fucking I've just got a regular fucking lame ass opinion, like fucking my shit ain't even extreme like that most times, like fucking you know, like can I speak,
It's
like
yeah,
fucking but you know, it at the end of
but
like you know.
but you can't like you
No,
can't even
real quick,
open your mouth.
my bad. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
real
yeah,
quick.
yeah, yeah.
Like, with the channels that I do love, like, and I'll be completely candid, a lot of them like are more like, as far as like having affinity for PBC. I'm not saying that they play defense for PBC or having like, or a lot of the channels that I do love or like that I did love in the past that made me disenfranchised with YouTube boxing, um, have a more like black tinge to it, if you will. Like fucking but at the end of the day, like you know, Mayweather like was the finest boxer in the land at one point, or the most sought after boxer in the land at one point, and he was also black and American. Fucking he got to where he got to by fighting a bunch of times, like fucking bringing a lot of fanfare in his direction. He didn't say like you know like a lot of you guys like that like me like should become apologists for me and like try to combat or bash like people that don't like me. Like you don't get shit done like that. I mean, like you know, and if there is like you know that hidden hand that keeps these brothers like from America down, like as far as boxing goes, then you know that's always gonna be there. Like fucking there's only one way to run through that, and it's kind of like doing what Mayweather did, like fucking, which is like just sticking it right in their face and continue to win, like fucking, and like having a little bit of a gift of gab and like fucking, having a sense of like you know every time Mayweather fights is a big event. That's how you get to the top of that spear with the with in the condition that that you're in. Not like by fucking bashing me, a fucking jackass from fucking Sunset Park, like fucking because I have a difference of opinion, like you know what I'm saying, like that than a bunch of other jackasses online that have like you know honestly like the people that watch YouTube boxing, if you have to, like the hardcores like fucking like myself, like Lost One, like Watcher, like Michael Johnson, if there's 200,000 of us, I'm probably like over or under by like, or I'm probably over by like 50,000. There's not that many boxing hardcores that like YouTube boxing. And I've seen a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure, and Mike's been around a long time, like I have, that used to come around a whole bunch that don't come around no more. And it's because they probably like the shit got old for them. Like the whole like fucking kid attitude of you know, you're getting catty because like fucking you spoke bad about like somebody I like. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking
Well, I put it to you like this: my first like 4 years of YouTube boxing, I didn't comment. I just watched videos. I did not fucking comment because people just be tripping. You know, you say something, some people, somebody don't like, and like you said, like they start tripping, and that's the reason why I see why blood boxing the way he is. You know, because he's been around for a long time, and he's seen a lot of niggas out here wearing skirts and having their skirts pulled up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I don't agree with a
Showing their
lot of the
teeth
stuff
straight.
Blood has been saying recently at all. It's just not my cup of tea.
No,
But
like
it's
you,
his
like
right, I guess,
no, no,
you know, to
no,
go up there
that's
and
not
say
what I'm
whatever he
saying,
wants to.
Tyrone.
Yeah.
Tyrone, what I'm saying is I see why the way he is because motherfuckers out here they tend to not come up with their own opinion and gravitate to other people's opinion and tend to just dick ride. That's the way that he is.
Whatever he's saying now, I guarantee you, and I was telling this to Laws behind the scenes. This is live, so
Like what?
it's
Like
out
what?
there. The stuff he's saying about people like Wilder and some other fighters, right now, that's how he's always
Like
felt
what?
about them to
What
begin
did he
with.
say?
What do you mean?
Like what did he say?
He's basically saying Wilder got the chicken legs and all of this stuff.
He
He
do.
felt that. He does, yeah. I'm saying he's always felt that way from the beginning, and that's fine. He was just going along to get along because he
Nah,
was
No.
in
I
this group.
honestly like no, but I've watched pretty much every video of blood boxing except for like today maybe. Um, he he um he has love for Wilder, like fucking it's like the fucking legion of people that you can't say shit about Wilder, like fucking which I'm not like trying to line up and like fucking oh like my bad opinions of Wilder are like fucking bursting at the seams and like fucking these people are stopping me from saying that. It's not the case. Like I think Wilder's my favorite boxer like currently, like fucking bar none. But I think that like listening to blood like fucking again like this is me like just from a fan perspective of blood boxing because I love blood boxing, bro. Like fucking and like it's not gonna like have me not critique blood boxing if I think he's wrong like in the future. But he's always had good things to say about Wilder in the sense that like he thought Wilder was looking for that action more than any other heavyweight um in the last couple years, which I agree with that sentiment too. Um, but a lot of the channels that are fucking PBC apologists, I'm not gonna say Wilder apologists, they're just as annoying as anything that's coming out of what people think of like the worst elements of like AJ fan like fair UK like like and you still get a lot of people like that like if a UK um channel like peeks their head out like they gotta like earn respect like in some circles like and that's stupid like fucking it's a very lazy like you know um
Yeah, I was in a Discord chat and I was on like an LDBC one. This was like a couple years ago, 2 years ago, and I got put for being a fence sitter. I think about Wilder or something because I said that Wilder's first 30 or something fights, he didn't fight nobody.
He didn't.
And let's be honest too. Listen, I never understood the AJ hate either. AJ for his
Well,
18 fights is
he got
better than
lucky
most.
because you have to
Is better than
understand
most. His resume is not that bad in this current
Wilder
era.
Wilder became a boxer, and within a year he got in the amateurs and won a bronze medal, and then became a professional fucking fighter. That's not what fucking AJ did. See what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder doesn't have the pedigree of out of all the boxers that's right now. Wilder is the only one. I mean, right now, and I can say, especially in the heavyweight, as far as the heavyweight division is concerned, that doesn't have an extensive background in boxing that has a belt, that had a belt. He's the only one.
No, AJ started at 18, 19 as well.
Mm-mm. No, he
He did,
didn't.
Mike. He did. He did.
No, he started before that.
No. He did. He
He
did.
started before that. Don't
When?
let the motherfuckers fool you. The niggas started before that.
now regardless though like I give them like at this stage in life like honestly like my distaste for AJ like especially like you know um 4 years ago 3 years ago was more associated with the fact that there seemed that he had trepidation in wanting to fight Wilder. Like he was just evading that action in my eyes.
Yeah, he was. But let's this started back. Let's go back to 2017, right? They People were upset that he went and chose Charles Martin. Why'd
Instead
Wilder
of
go
Wilder,
there? Yes, yeah. He was
I
number two
wasn't.
in the
I was personally
WBC.
like
He was number 2 in the WBC. He went the IBF route because it was easier. Let's
Wilder
and
tried to fight him.
Wilder did the same thing, dude. Wilder went the WBC route for Stavern when he could have gone the Klitschko route. I
No,
mean,
well,
this
no,
is boxing.
Klitschko
It
didn't want to fight him.
happens.
No, but Klitschko didn't want to fight him. And Wilder was ranked
No,
in, I think, 2 or 3 divisions at one time. But Klitschko said it. He didn't get a belt.
no,
That's
Yeah, I
what he
Klitschko
mean,
said.
would
like,
have if he was a
But, but
mandatory. Klitschko would have took
no,
care of
no.
that.
But that's what Klitschko told him. And Charles Martin, Deontay Wilder wanted to fight Charles Martin. And if you look back, Charles Martin's own team, out of his own admission, even said, "Yeah, we'll fight Deontay Wilder." But
They get paid more money for AJ.
exactly,
Simple.
yeah, but I mean, and I do remember more of the battle lines being drawn a little bit after like the whole like
It was the
um
second Stavern fight, which was a joke.
yeah.
I think it was a
Even
joke. It
before
was
that,
a joke.
I do remember the battle lines like being like more drawn out like a little bit after AJ fought Klitschko, like, and it seemed like if I remember correctly, like Wilder was in the crowd, and there was no mention of him. Like there was a mention of Fury, but who cares? Like at the end of the day, like that's past like history. I get like my current state, like I give AJ credit for what he's done. I mean, do I think that he did evade Wilder in the past? Yeah, I'm not gonna change that stance. I think that did happen. Um, Wilder, I mean, like if I gotta be critical of him now, like fucking it's more like in the past, like since he lost to Fury, not because he lost to Fury, but like as far as like you don't know what direction he was headed in, like whether he thought um I don't know. Like to me, I thought like
He
maybe he
had
was
that
gonna try to
first
like
fight in the bag, but even if he had won the first fight and he knocked that guy out, Top Rank would have still picked up Fury and said, "Well, he was on, so and so percent." It wouldn't have changed. It wouldn't have changed anything. It wouldn't change for the timeline. I think
like
Wilder should have pulled
as
out
far
the
as
second
gaining
fight
him
though.
more fanfare, like as far as gaining Wilder more fanfare, like it would not
Nah,
change anything, or
if Wilder had knocked out Fury, it Fury would have been like, "Well, I wasn't 100%."
I
And he
agree.
would have
I
he
mean,
would have went with Top Rank, and it would have been the same sort of timeline we have now. I think whatever whatever happened in that second fight, we'll know after the third fight.
yeah.
We'll
I mean,
see
and
what the truth
that's
is,
another
and that's
subject
what I
entirely.
want to know.
No, that's another subject entirely. Like to me, it's more like as far as like right now, like as far as like like I'm not like fucking gaining like like I'm not gonna throw up blood later because I'm giving AJ credit today, like fucking and that's more of a fault on my part. Like as far as like it was just like I gotta bash AJ because he's not like because fucking not to be on code, bro, like fucking but it was more like like it to
Have
contend
you have
against
you
like
seen me? Have you seen
trolling.
me ever bash AJ? Weirdly enough, never. I've
I
never
don't know.
understood the AJ hit with. I don't know.
I have.
I've always with AJ. I've never really been hard on him. I don't know why.
Yeah. No,
I
but
guess
but
because
the
I
thing
like
is
him.
the thing is
May-
what happens now though, and this is more like personally me, like as far as like my disenfranchisement with a lot of these channels is that like with like in the AJ situation, you have an easy out like to diss like Eddie Hearn or AJ, like in Bud's situation, the same shit. Like you have an easy out like by saying like Bud you bring up Bud's competition, which is true, but Bud is also, in my eyes, being evaded. But then they also like do another lazy like uh um subject builder like and saying like oh well but like Bob Arum like you can't work with Bob Arum and or Bud's a slave to Bob Arum, like they'll just like go real beneath the belt with these things like and give no like backlash to the guy that they root for. Like they don't say like, oh well, Errol Spence could do this, this, and that to make the fight with Bud happen. and I know I beat that subject up a lot. Or they don't say, well, maybe Wilder like could have done this, and that to make a fight with AJ happen, like fucking you know what I'm saying? Like, and
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
me, like, I'm guilty of that. Like, I'm guilty of fucking well, I'm not guilty of all that, but I'm guilty of like, fucking kind of like falling within that vein as far as like,
Watch it.
I'm not.
Didn't you? I'm sorry to cut you off, but watch it.
No, no,
Didn't
no.
you find it weird that I've never really downed AJ?
Nah, it's true. I mean, I really don't remember you bashing AJ. I've bashed AJ a whole bunch, like fucking you
I've
know
never really. I don't know. I like his skill set, man. He is a good skill set. I do
yeah,
think
and
he avoided Wilder, but at the end of the day, that fight could have been put together, and I think it was both sides.
it was to me. I mean, like, I think ultimately, like, in hindsight, it probably was both sides, like fucking and I
Maybe
my
if Eddie Hearn can somehow, Eddie Hearn is spited now because he hates Wilder and all of this stuff. Thing is, Eddie Hearn for so long, so Eddie, I don't know, for a long time, you saw it before. He always tried to compliment Wilder because his thing is to sign everybody, sign all the good people, and put them on his team. But they got into Wilder's ear and said, "No, Eddie Hearn's this, he's that, he's that." I don't think Hearn and Wilder have ever had a conversation face to face. Maybe
maybe
they
not
should. Maybe they should put something together. Remember when the DAZN deal happened? Or that
the offer.
whole DAZN thing deal? They
Oh, when
tried
they
to bring
first started the
Wilder.
deal.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
tried
yeah,
to do Wilder and all that stuff. Listen,
yeah.
that deal, they were not. Wilder's team was not going to sign that deal before they even went to the meeting. That had already been decided.
No,
In
hey,
hindsight, too.
that's
I mean,
probably true.
Wilder
That's
could have
probably
agreed
true,
to.
but it had nothing to do with Edward Hearn. That's the thing. It had nothing to do with Edward Hearn. And it had nothing to do necessarily with AJ. That whole thing was with Wilder and DAZN. And that's the reason why John Skipper came out and apologized for being too brash. And you know what the word too brash means? Brash means. It means fucking arrogant. That means he came in there with a chip on his shoulder that he was going to get that deal done at a cheap ass fucking price. And that's what people don't understand. It's like it's not none of our business, but when you make it an argument that fighters should take this and the third, then I have obligation to say something with it. And if you think about it, maybe if we all just fucking been adults about it and just said, fuck what the split is, make the fucking fight. Maybe the fight would have happened. Because too many people on social media was out here trying to tell AJ what he should and should not take. Same thing for Wilder. And what people probably should have did was sit back, relax, listen, and just say, hey, man, we want to see this undisputed fight. Just like the same way Tyson Fury tried to slither his way out, and everybody was eating it up on the opposite side. So I think that's what it should have happened. Because they damn for sure didn't say nothing but, oh, it's Wilder's fault. Well, how come, if it's Wilder's fault or if it's Crawford's fault, well, how come it can't be AJ or Spence's fault? I'm just saying.
No, and honestly, like, and this is more like me speaking on the Bud situation. Like, like when it comes to the Bud situation, like a couple years ago, everybody who liked Bud liked Errol Spence just as much. But once
Once he moved up,
yeah,
that's what happened. And part of it though, a lot of what they're saying though, well, not a lot, but part of it, what they're saying, the stuff about he can't really keep with top rank. Like that's just not. They could probably put something together, but I do think there has to be more. He's pretty complacent.
who Bud is?
Yeah, because Top Rank, they admitted that they're not willing to put up money or do the thing necessary to do to really. Only for a Spence fight, though.
No, I think that I'll give my thoughts on Berlanga in a few Watcher. But I think like with Bud situation, I think he's more stuck like with Top Rank, like fucking I don't think he wants to be there. But like when and like I do think contractually that he's stuck. But like a lot of these people that like fucking are like a little bit on the Edel Spence dick riding side, they'll make it seem like this dude's like fucking like cooning, like like he just like needs to be under a white guy or some shit. Like they'll phrase it like that. Like, and they know that's not like necessarily the truth. Like, it's not like Bud's like, fucking, well, I want to thank God and Bob Arum, like, after his fights, or like saying, oh, well, go talk to Bob Arum, like, if you want to fight me, like, I just think contractually, like, similar to Mikey Garcia a few years before Bud, that he's kind of like fucked, like, as far as like his age, like, and not being able to make a long, contentious battle in court like against Bob Arum and sit on the sidelines at age 33, 34, whatever the fuck he is. But like people like that like Errol Spence a little bit more than they do Bud, or a lot more, they'll make it seem like, oh well, Bud's a fucking this or that, his slave master, like, and it don't gotta be that way, bro. Like fucking like, look at things like, in a general sense, and like take a step back, stop dick riding at all, like, or like fucking stop making excuses as to why he fucking is not asking for this fight, or never talks about Bud Crawford and fighting him except for like twice a year maybe, you know um and you don't gotta like really like kill another brother in a sense, like fucking who's not a bad person. I don't think Bud's like a bad person. Like these dudes be making Bud seem like he's a fucking demon or some shit, like, and they're doing
Adver-
it.
adversarial Negro. That's the term we need to use now.
Yeah, but they do it.
He's in that list.
Nah, but I mean, at the end of the day, there's adversaries within every race, even your own. But it don't got to be that kind of party, like for something as simple as boxing, and like the fact that like you like another dude within your race, if you will, like fucking more than Bud. So you got to make Bud look like he's some fucking like in chains or some shit. Like, and that's how they. I'm not using this like as a hyperbole, or like fucking or like to make an example. This is shit I've seen in chats and like fucking in YouTube streams. Like this is not shit I'm making up. Like, oh, like, well, Bud don't want to get up from master like fucking Bob Arum. Like, yo, like how you sound, bro? Like, meanwhile, like Bob Arum, like in part, um like set up a Fury Wilder fight. Maybe he didn't have a pivotal role in that. Maybe he didn't want Wilder and Fury to fight as his first choice. But the shit's happening like in a few months, I think. Like fucking, and it's already happened between Wilder and Fury twice. Like fucking, like there's not that much
Next
differences as
month.
far.
Next month.
Pardon me.
Next month. A month from now. Almost
Yeah,
exactly a
I mean,
month
like
from now. Almost.
but when it's convenient, like they want to make it seem like Bob Arum is like not letting Bud Crawford fight because like they're trying to play defense. At the end, it's corny. And again, like, I don't want to like, go too like crazy into that stuff. Like, but it's basically me as far as my disenfranchisement with YouTube boxing. I'll put it like that because I don't want to call groups out by name or channels out by name. And at the end of the day, I mean, like, if somebody has an issue with me saying any of this shit, like fucking you come tell me personally, like wherever, and don't be a little bitch about it. Like fucking don't make it like make a little list, like a little fucking herb, and or like, oh well, you can't fuck with this guy, or block me on all these channels like they did in the past, like from Jump Street, like even before these issues happened. I got blocked on mad channels, and fucking and it's because people were keeping these corny ass lists up, or fucking saying like, this guy's like not trustworthy, or that, like, and this is before I even started creating content, where I got blocked on like the litany of a lot of these channels. But like nobody ever told me
Yeah,
like straight up.
there's a list. No, they won't. They won't. They just keep a list. And what they do is they screenshot few. say something or do something on a live. You might be on a haters live and be chilling in that haters live in the cut, but they'll send their spies out to to see who's there. And if they see you say something, they screenshot it and send it. That's all they do, and it'll never get back to you. Then you realize why your messages don't appear in chats.
Yeah, well, let me send a message out or a PSA to a lot of these people that do that. If you're fucking sending screenshots of fucking people that you consider adversaries within the YouTube fucking boxing sphere, like you're doing a real commendable job, like fucking at what you do, like sitting in your underwear,
Commendable
taking
job.
shits, fucking unemployed, like fucking and like scrolling through fucking YouTube boxing 22 hours throughout the day, like fucking waking up pissing and going on channels you don't like to fucking by chance catch somebody who is subscribed to channels that you do like and happens to comment on the channel you don't like. Fucking so I commend you in doing all that you do, like fucking you're doing a great job by fucking driving out like the 3 or 4 fans that are still watching boxing till this day, like fucking by getting them kicked off or making their time on a social media platform a little bit more uncomfortable. Like fucking good for you. Like fucking go clean out dog shit at your regular job in the 3 hours that you're awake per day. Like fucking because you're doing a commendable job on fucking boxing multimedia or internet, if you will. I don't know like what multimedia is, but fucking kudos to you. But please, my friends, continue.
Yeah, damn. But yeah, man,
No, but
that's that.
this is like real shit though. I mean, like as far as like, and I'm not gonna say I was the victim of that shit because at the end of the day, let a motherfucker like because I go to almost all the fights at Barclays, some of the ones at MSG if it's not too expensive, and I pretty much for the most part go dolly by myself. Like fucking let somebody like come to me and be like, oh well, like fucking, I doubt that it's gonna happen. Like fucking, because a lot of these dudes don't have the
They'll send their
300
Jermall
bucks.
shooters after you. Their
Yeah,
Jermall shooters
sure.
after
That
you.
Jamel
Yeah.
Shulo, Jamel and his brother got robbed by a couple of sixes at 40-40, like fucking
I saw
while they
that.
were
I
out in
saw
New
the
York.
picture of her. She was like old, like in her 40s, man. She was
Yeah, bro.
busted,
Like
absolutely busted.
these dudes are RNs, bro. They're regular cats, like fucking these dudes are nothing spectacular. And like a dude that's playing full-time defense, like on YouTube, is like way below fucking what a lackluster in life Charlo is like, like I'm not dissing Charlo like hard body like that. I mean, if Charlo ever got snappy, like I mean per se, like because I hear a lot of people like say like, oh well, like people were trying to interview him and he got snappy with this one. I'm like, yo, like why didn't you say anything? Like fucking, why didn't you go tell him to go fuck his mother? Like fucking, you just took it, like fucking. But oh no, I didn't want to get kicked out. Like fucking, like it's not like you were invited. More likely than not, you probably just caught him in some fucking alley, like or like some little back channel in the stadium and like threw a couple questions at him and allowed you to become like fucking
I'll
a
never
victim.
forget. I'll never forget, dude. 10 years ago, here, Sean Porter used to fight. We had a fighter. You might know him. He was from DR. Fernando Guerrero,
I think I
and
do remember.
yeah, he was a middleweight. He was really big over here in my hometown. Sean Porter used to fight on all his undercards. And I walked out of the Civic Center arenas. I walked out of these arenas with Sean Porter, and I saw him and Kenny Porter walking to the car by themselves after a fight, trying to get back home. They basically had to beg people to get them to get pictures with them, to act like they had an entourage. They didn't have an entourage. It was just them, maybe a cut man, and they would go back almost as if it was like a a high school swim meet or something like that. I
And they
mean,
probably
these
jumped
guys
into
were no
fucking.
show. I didn't see any showtime. I was fucking,
They probably jumped into a 3-year-old Ford Edge, like fucking
dude, I was 12, 13 years old and was just walking out the arena. And I was with my brother. I said, look at them. He just fought. He looks like a regular guy, like a regular fan. He just fought. Look at Sean Porter. I didn't see any Showtime there, but now he thinks he's a superstar in his
Nah, I
mind.
mean, but I
I'll
mean,
never forget it.
and Sean Porter is maybe a couple of echelons below or above, like both of the Charlos. Like these dudes are
Yeah,
like
Sean
not like
Porter is more known now than both of the Charlos.
he's more than both Charlos probably. Like, and these dudes be acting like fucking like you're giving them
Complete
like
dorks, dude. Nobody knows who they are.
they're blessing you like fucking because they blinked at you. And
No,
like a
that
lot
is
of
not when I
channels like
took the knee in the gym. That was a
pardon
different
me?
story. He says that when you took the knee in the gym. Well, circa, but maybe a couple months after that. But we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, bro. But yeah, I mean like, if and the thing is too that I honestly like, and one of the reasons why like I'm glad in my decision that I don't like give a squirt of shit about like fucking YouTube boxing as much as I used to is because things are getting worse. I don't see things getting much better. Like I see things becoming more fractionalized and more divided.
and it
Um
won't stop. Say
no, it's
Wilder.
getting worse. I'm telling you that the momentum is
I,
building like
I I mean, I just have a funny feeling. I believe Wilder's going to win on the 24th, and even if he does, nothing will change. It'll the same. The more things change, the more they stay the same, right? It's
I
going to
mean,
be the
if he
same.
loses, I think things will change. If he wins, probably not. Things won't change that much. Um,
How do you think things will change if he loses?
if he loses, I think a lot of channels like fucking up. I mean, the ones that I'm speaking of, like that I've become disenfranchised with or fell out of love with, are gonna have because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I do still tune in like fucking when I can. Um, if I don't have shit to watch on YouTube, like I still do tune in and like the subject matter on a lot of these channels is a lot more divisive than it was like when I stopped tuning in. So I mean,
Well,
and
and I'll say something, dude. If Fury in that last fight, if Wilder was like 80-90% and Fury was at his best, whatever, and he boxed him up to a decision, I wouldn't say anything. I would not even say a word. I would be like, I saw that coming.
well, no, I mean like the thing is like as far as like the channels that I did like and I stopped tuning into, and this is like more like as far as like sort of answering Lost One and saying that if you keep it boxing, you win. Never mind all YouTube BS. No, I mean 100%. But I tuned out. Like it's not like I lost anything by not tuning into a lot of these channels that I stopped listening to because I watch other shit like fucking and I'm doing other things like fucking productively, I guess. But um when I say that I still do tune in like to a lot of the channels that I stopped listening to, like they're thoroughly like into the whole like notion that Fury cheated, whether he did or not, like fucking you know, I leave it up to whoever.
I
They're
think he
thoroughly
did,
into the
but I
notion.
don't think it made a difference in the fight. My
No,
opinion
no,
is he
like I'm
did, but
like
I don't think it made a difference in the fight.
again, like
Because
whether you
if it did, he did it before. I mean, this is not something new. Like we know Fury cheats. This just comes with the territory. If I had a body like him, I'd try to find an edge, dude.
no, like
Physically,
again,
he's
like
just not there.
no, again, it to me, it's not like whether I believe or don't believe. Like it's more like a lot of these channels that I stopped listening to, they threw themselves way into that fray, and like they're 100% like Fury cheated, like fucking all right. They thoroughly threw themselves into like the race issues of this. So like I think if um Wilder does come to a loss in this next fight, that a lot of those channels that did throw themselves into these notions, they're gonna have like a lot of people that they, you know, trolls on their back. Like they're gonna have like fucking shit to somewhat answer for, like fucking. And I think that a lot of those channels will be infected. I'm not rooting for that. Like again, like Wilder's my guy, and I'm not like rooting for like a lot of these channels like to fucking
But even if that were to happen, it's just going to be another fighter, another day. Do you
as
see
far
what I
as
mean?
Wilder losing or winning.
This whole cycle. If he loses, this whole cycle does not stop. If he wins, it doesn't stop. They will always find something. There will always be controversy with another fighter somewhere else, a new fighter.
Generally, yeah. I mean, like I agree with that point. I'm saying, and this is more like me, as far as my assessment of channels in particular. Like as far as the channels that I did like before, like that did vest into the notions of like the cheating and like the whole, um, like maybe Wilder's um the cheating that was done against Wilder wasn't looked into because of race or because whatever have you. Like, so I think that they'll become disenfranchised. Like, or like maybe take 2 weeks off and then come up with some other shit about Errol Spence. Um, Watcher said, "Who cares what they say? Screw the haters." One bit, I don't give two squirts of fucking piss. Like fucking what haters say. Like a lot of these dudes at the end of the day that I've had contentions with, like openly, um, are fucking Section 8 like bum ass dudes to the core. Like have nothing, no prospects. Like fucking
It'll make
and
my year. It'll make my year when Wilder wins again. But I'm no fool. I know that things won't change. And also another thing, other than a Spence topic or Wilder topic or some of these other topics, most of these haters are boxing fans just like us, and we agree across the board on a majority of issues. Majority. We had you can ask Mike. We had L Dog on, or well, he would say he's a Wilder hater as well. But I mean, I've talked to people from what was it, BDA Boxing, another kind of adversarial group or whatever. Listen, a lot of us agree on a lot of things. It's just some of these contentious topics, dude, that really split it. Other than that, they have box rec, I have box rec. It's kind of hard to spin certain things.
yeah, no, I mean, and again, like I don't like a lot of like channels like maybe that like I didn't like in the past. They do spin, but I just didn't want to become like the anti like spinning like or spin the other way. Like what I'm saying, I mean, life's too short. Like fucking and it's too frustrating. At the end of the day, it's not like I'm gonna convert like people into liking Wilder and like or like I'm not gonna be converted into thinking that Errol Spence is doing a stellar job as far as pursuing a bud fight. It is what it is at the end of the day. Like in my eyes, like fucking like just to a lot of these people that like fucking were on these witch hunts in the past and like a lot of these channels like fucking just keep it clean. Like like don't fuck with people I do like fucking don't be bullies like and think that like
Remember what we said about Wilder Ortiz too behind the scenes?
what's that?
We didn't think it was pay-per-view.
Oh, nah, I'll say that outright, bro. Like that's not a pay-per-view fight, and I don't think he should
I
have
got into
taken
an
that
argument
fight.
with BFTB about that. Watcher coincidentally found it one day, and he was like, "Was that you?" I said, "Yeah, it was me. I didn't think it was. I didn't know what the point of that fight was. In hindsight, I can kind of see, well, Ortiz kind of had him there. And listen, if Ortiz had beat him that first time, you wouldn't hear me saying anything.
Nah, shout out to BFTV, bro. Like I think BFTV is a good guy. Like fucking and I still listen to his channel like when I can. Like fucking schedules don't align a lot of times. Like fucking but I've
And
had
Ortiz,
contact.
thing with Ortiz, dude, I'm sorry to move
Nah,
this subject, but just quickly. Dude, Ortiz, all these guys, nobody wanted to fight Ortiz. All of them. Even Wilder waited till it was late. Let's be real. Ortiz is right now probably 46, 47 years old, in my opinion.
probably older.
Probably older.
The yeah, I mean like and like I didn't have beef with him fighting Wilder part one. Like I had a
No, I
problem with
was excited to see it when it was in 2017
yeah,
before
that
it
was
got moved
great,
back.
bro.
But this guy should have been fighting for a title at least 3 years back in like 2014, 2015.
Ortiz or Wilder.
Ortiz,
Yeah, like I mean, like again, like
he,
when
he,
that
he,
fight.
did- listen, nobody wanted to, they all waited for him to get old. Nobody wanted to fight Ortiz when he was on. Just real talk. That's real talk.
I'm trying to
That's
think.
real
You think
talk.
like I mean, this is like off subject, but you think Ortiz Wilder 1 was pay-per-view worthy?
At the
I would
time,
still say no.
no.
Yeah. So I don't know
At
how
the
they try
time,
to run
no.
part 2, like fucking as a fight to.
No, I didn't think so at all. I didn't think Wilder Ortiz 2 was pay-per-view whatsoever, and that undercard did not help.
Yo, what was homeboy, the light skinned cat from California that Wilder fought?
Brazil,
All right. You
yeah,
think
he's a
Wilder
dub.
Brazil, like today, as far as how PBC is operating, you think they would run that on pay-per-view?
No, they can't.
I
They
think they
couldn't.
would.
No, they couldn't. They couldn't do that. Real
Bro,
seriously.
like if they're about to run Tank Davis like fucking with Barrios on
Mario
pay-per-view,
Barrios.
yeah, bro, that's pretty tough, man. Like that's
I
a
will say
really,
the
really tough
undercard is
match.
better than normal.
It's okay, man, but those are Friday, those are borderline Friday, Saturday fights a couple years ago, free of charge. Um I watched
Yeah,
that
yeah,
fight
for
in Italy.
sure.
Which one, the Ortiz Wilder, or and what were you doing in Italy? But yeah, man.
Oh yeah, Watcher said he was traveling Europe at the time. But would you say? Wouldn't you agree, Joey? Though Ortiz was like they really all waited for him to get old.
nah, they did. I mean, they did wait for him to get old, and it still seems like
I mean,
nobody's
he turned
lining up.
pro at 30, quote unquote, quotation marks, right? So that means 36, 37.
Yeah,
Like, why didn't people fight him after Latif Coyote? That was back in 2014, 2012 even. And he turned pro in 2010. It's
I
just,
follow you,
it's
Watcher.
just, it's just like
No, I mean it
he didn't get his shine. Like he didn't he wasn't he didn't get his shine. If he really had his opportunity, he would have probably been champ, or could have had a good. He would have given Klitschko a run, a good fight if he fought Klitschko.
Watcher said I almost got robbed in Italy. Yeah, like fucking Europe's no joke, bro. I got into 2 fights when I was in Paris because I made the mistake of going with 2 girls. Like fucking and the first fight I got into, the guy was probably like 50 years old, bro. I'm ashamed to say.
He
Fucking
was like, "Fuck you, fuck you."
like probably like 55, like like later 50s, like even. But the the nah, but you're right though, as far as like people not lining up to people aren't lining up to fight him now, like fucking I mean, like Ortiz in the welterweight world would probably be like similar to beating damn, at least fucking Danny Garcia. I mean, it's a name, like shit. Like fucking and nobody, like no singular soul like has called him out, like, till this day, like fucking uh Lost One said that's the French people, man. Yo, France is fucking hood, bro. Paris is mad hood. Cause I've been to Normandy too, like, but Paris, France, fucking shithole, bro. People drinking cheap beer in the street, like fucking that shit was wild. Watcher said LOL, and let's just see how they react to English people. Just see how they react to English people. Oh, the French, I don't know.
But
Like,
like
but
my whole thing with this heavyweight division is all of these fighters can beat each other on any given day. Fury is not a god. He's not head and shoulders above anybody else. Neither is Joshua or Wilder or some of these guys on the top tier. Wilder proved he could knock Fury out. I think Joshua could knock Fury out. Fury can box up both of them. Box him up. So that's really what it is at the end of the day. And each of them have their strengths and weaknesses.
yeah, nah, but and I also think that Fury would have beat the shit out of Ortiz. Like in hindsight, like now that I like
Like I think he
right
would
now,
box him up.
I think so too.
He wouldn't have
Like
knocked him out, but he would just move, just keep moving because Ortiz is pretty slow on his feet. But back then, I don't know. He was more dynamic. I mean, who knows?
yeah, but now boxing is on. But as far as today's fight though, we didn't even get into today's fight. Like fucking like personally, like I mean, I'm not gonna say that that he had a great fight. He did fight in my eyes, like it's just that Jamal and Jamel, like to me, like I'm not gonna front on them as much as like I don't like the way they move outside of the ring, or like the fact that Jamal should have fought Andrade fucking for like the last 5 years many times. Um or Jamel, one of the two, like fucking like shit. Like there's nobody else out there for you to fight. Like fucking but tonight, like I mean, like,
And what does
whenever
Jermell
I see
do?
Jamal fight, like
If he,
especially when he's at like there's like times where I'm like, yo, like this dude looks like unbeatable at times.
no, he looked
Today, I
he
mean,
looked
like,
he was exposed today.
well, in the latter portion of the fight, bro, I did give homeboy Montiel like 10, 11, and 12. Um or I could at least give him two of those rounds. But
If he
Jamal
had
is a
worked
special,
that body more, I guarantee you he would have dropped him.
but career wise though, if I gotta give any advice to Jamal, it's like if you're gonna like take an ass cheeks fight, like at least once a year or twice a year, like fucking fight 4 fucking times a year, bro. Like, Golovkin's never mentioned your name, and fuck Golovkin, bro. Like, I'm not capping for the Golovkin, but it seems like he's not gonna fight you. But like, if you're like gaining fanfare by either A, wrecking people that nobody wants to fight, a la Andrade, and winning a belt in the process, or B, fucking fight a bunch of times a year, bro. Like, what's it? What, you could fight a Montiel type a bunch of times a year, but they're not doing it, or he's not doing it. And on top of that, when you struggle somewhat with the Montiel type, like tonight, you know, you're giving people like reason, like fucking to poke holes in your resume or in
Yeah,
you as a
that
boxer.
was a showcase fight, and they just
It was, yeah, and another thing
dropped
too,
the
bro.
ball.
If you ain't doing shit, you should have one showcase fight in your career. Like, I mean, unless you fucking live in Vegas, but you don't live in Vegas. You live in Houston. Like, you should have fought once in Houston as a feel good fight, and maybe this could have been it. But you already fought in Houston, like Charlo, like fucking like, and a lot of times if you do fight in your hometown, a lot of times like historically, you fight ass cheek competition, like which Montiel is in that vein of ass cheek competition. But he's already done that twice already, bro. Like fucking come on, you're jipping me now, and then
Who was the guy Spence fought in his homecoming? That Carlos Acampo dude? Oh my god.
who, Spence or
Spence.
yeah, I mean
He fought as Acampo dork, dude. That oh my god. He was so bad, that guy. He was so
yeah.
bad.
Well, I'll give Charlo some credit, and I think that he fought Hogan as his other like hometown fight, but which Hogan I thought was a tough competition.
He just
But
got knocked out again.
yeah, well then I thought he was tough competition. But fucking you gotta like step the game up. Like fucking you're already 30, 31 years old. Um Golovkin, I think, is not gonna fight you ever. And again, there's not capping for Golovkin, but like if you want to make a case as to like why these guys should fight you, it's not by gaining fanfare online by a bunch of assholes on YouTube. Again, it's by either knocking a bunch of people out or knocking out choice people. Knocking out Andrade would do that for you, and I think Jamal Charlo would beat Andrade like fucking even though I think it'll be a tough fight. Fucking but why doesn't that happen? Why you don't mention Andrade? Why does Andrade keep mentioning you and you don't say shit back, or you say bitchy shit like fucking that he doesn't deserve you, or in shit in that vein? I'm paraphrasing, but Jamal Charlo career is really not going anywhere. It's like at a standstill. And Montiel is not doing it. Like a decision with Montiel is not doing it. In those like little behind the scenes specials that he had, like he was showing Andre Johnson or somebody like a basketball player, like clips of him beating Dervinchenko. Like he's like, oh, well, this guy's tough for competition. Dervinchenko is
Like
not
that guy
fucking.
didn't even know who Dervinchenko
Yeah, bro.
was.
He, he
He's like, oh yeah, he's tough. Just like the fuck is he showing me? Is he trying to
like
show
my
me he's
man, like
good?
like no nobody knows who any of these boxers are, and you're trying to tell him like fucking convince this dude that Dervinchenko, who's been beat many times
Look,
already.
he was number 1 on BoxRec. He was
Yeah,
number whatever on BoxRec. I mean, I do. That was his best win. Dervinchenko is a very
it
good
is
win,
his best win, but that's not saying much though.
but that's
That's like me
that's
saying
it.
that I'm
You
the
need
best
more.
fucking hula hooper, like fucking or some shit, like
Jacobs beat him, and Golovkin beat him. So
yeah. I mean, and I could say that both of them beat him a little bit better than Charlo did, or I could make a case.
no, I thought Charlo beat him better than both, but
Well, no, you're right. You're right. He beat well in Golovkin's case especially because I thought Derevchenko beat Golovkin or at least pulled into a draw with him. Fucking But remember, there's a war torn Derevchenko too. Post Golovkin Charlo
yeah, shot
Derevchenko.
more. Those were tough fights. Those guys are big guys.
Yeah,
Those are big
and
guys,
Derevchenko is not a big guy.
right? He's like 5'7", 5'8".
Now I've seen Derevchenko because I've seen Derevchenko in person. Fucking because he used to run by the because I don't know if I told you, but I went to school later in my life, like as far as college. But I was in college from like 2015 to like a year ago, 2 years ago. But Dervinchenko used to run in Brighton Beach, and like my school, Kingsborough, was like right in that area where he used to run. Fucking
You
and it's
probably
not that's
walk
not
past
too.
him, you're like, damn, I'm taller than this guy.
I'm not, unfortunately.
Wait,
Fucking
how tall
little
are
dude,
you?
my friend. I won't say that right now, bro, but I'm shorter than Dervinchenko.
You're
But
5'6",
I'll beat the
aren't
shit
you?
out of any man, bro. I don't front on anybody. I've knocked out dudes that are fucking bigger than me, like fucking with witnesses, like fucking I don't front on anybody. Anybody who want it, like fucking you come try me, like fucking I've been bucked at, been fucking in knifers, like fucking you name it, I'm with it, like fucking
What do
well
you
at
think
least
about your friend? I don't know if you like him or not, but Gabe Rosado.
who gave Rosado?
Yeah, he got a knockout today. A big win for him.
That's what's up. I actually
Some
appreciate
undefeated,
Gabe Rosado.
some
Like
undefeated super Olympian. One of those guys. Those guys from a cave who live in a cave in Russia, the Kazakhstan. Those guys.
the in the Caucasus region.
Yeah. He knocked out one of those guys, those super Olympians. I call them the ones who have the 1,000 amateur fights and like 8 gold medals.
That eked out a bunch of decisions in the Olympics.
Yeah. He knocked one of those guys out today.
Yeah, no, I mean, like now that he's kind of like in the twilight of his career, maybe he's not like with his victory today, but I actually do appreciate Gabe Rosado. But I can't say that too because and I've always been very reserved as far as my judgment with Puerto Rican fight. Oh yeah, I gotta tell Berlanga what I thought about I mean Watcher what thought about Berlanga. But going back to what I said,
I think
like
he's
because
overrated.
being candid, like I've always said that I was a fan of Danny Garcia, not because I like Danny Garcia, but necessarily. But Danny Garcia looks a lot like my son. One, and I always said that. And two, Danny Garcia's pops is exactly
His
like my
dad is
father.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's exactly like my father was. May rest in peace. Fucking So for that reason alone, like fucking I have a lot of I like Danny Garcia, and when he beat Amir Khan, I couldn't stand Amir Khan like during that time, like fucking So that did it for me. But as far as other Puerto Rican fighters, like I've always been very reserved as far as like saying that I'm like over enthused, like that I like this guy or that guy, like Rosado. Well Rosado, he's kind of like been a gatekeeper. But as far as Berlanga goes, Skill wise, I think he is overrated. But we haven't seen shit because they're like kind of like guiding him slowly, which I don't blame him. Like fucking because he at this point I think he still is a little bit of prospect status. Like if he wins a belt in the next year, I still think that I don't think that he's a prospect status and he shouldn't fight anybody. I still think that they're like at that point we would probably be rushing him. But he does have plus power. Like I'll give him that. Fucking he's not really setting it up at this point. Maybe he won't either in the future. But one thing I will tell you, as far as like New York goes, and I don't live in New York any longer, but I still go to New York pretty much every day, and I live 10 minutes, 5 minutes from New York. He does have a lot of fanfare in New York, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that like the New York Puerto Rican community is pretty deep. But he's made his way into a lot of these circles as far as celebrities, like rappers, like here in New York. A lot of people do know him. I don't know why. Like fucking maybe he has connects. Um, but he does have a lot of fanfare to him, and anybody who brings like a casual fan base into boxing or fanfare into boxing, I'm with it. Do I think that he's once he does step up in a level of competition or become a champion, do I gotta become fucking Berlanga apologist because he's Puerto Rican or because like I saw him coming up like from young? Fuck no. Like fucking if he gets beat, I mean like sometimes that works out better for me. Like fucking as far as like him fighting better competition in the future, like fucking and I've seen other like Spanish tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, like cats have similar fanfare, not as much as him, and get their shit washed like fucking and become nobody. Um I don't think that's gonna be the same for him, but do I think he's gonna be like the best A1 boxer in the future? I don't know. I think he'd have to like keep off a lot of weight and overly rely on his power and like add some tools like to his box fucking which I don't know if he's like capable of all that. That's me personally, but I do like him though. What do you think about him, Ty?
Yeah, I think he's definitely over
Before
Berlanga.
before
Can't
before you
believe.
continue though, like
Uh-huh.
if you want to cook on that and any other point, like please do because I gotta use the bathroom.
Yeah, said Berlanga can't believe. Finish the sentence. Oh yeah, Berlanga's a simp too. He was like, he looked at a picture of his girl or whatever and commented on the photo. He was like, "I can't believe I got you pregnant," with like an emoji sign or whatever. But yeah, I definitely do think he's overrated. We'll see what happens when he steps up, pretty much with him.
My apologies, bro. Thanks for taking over the shortly. Now, but
Yeah, no problem. Did you hear what I said?
I know you said somebody's a simp.
Yeah, I said Berlanga was like a simp because Berlanga, like, he commented on a post of his girl or whatever, and he was like, "Oh my God, wow, I can't believe I got you pregnant," and he put like an emoji sign. I was like, "What a simp
That is simpy, bro.
that
Affections
is,
of love
simpy, dude."
online are not simpish. There's just certain
Out in the
things that
open,
like
yeah,
that.
it's simpish. It's simpish.
Yeah, no, no, not all affections of love, like which I don't do online. Like fucking, I barely put my family's pictures out there. Like fucking, but maybe like once every 2 years or some
You have
shit.
to do it behind the scenes where you can at least lie about it. I never said that.
Nah, but I definitely don't simp in my like fucking very little like social media exposure as far as like my family or my love life, if you will. But yeah, that is simpish, like fucking like what you just said as far as Berlanga goes. Simping is a epidemic, apparently, bro. I think people don't know how to carry on normal relationships and fucking maybe when they get involved.
I need a homebody. That's what I need because I'm a homebody.
No, I mean whatever floats your boat. Like, but I think a lot of people, especially these celebrities, like when they do things that are cringeworthy like that, I think
Yeah,
they're
that was super cringe. He was probably like,
yeah, bro.
"Oh, what did I
They
just
become
do? Why did I just do that?"
they become way too enthused, way too fast. Meanwhile, this bitch is gonna be calling the cops on you probably in like 3 months.
Hmm.
Fucking yeah, bro. Yo, I want to touch on my other subject, the Juneteenth thing.
Yeah,
What do you?
I'll let you work.
Oh, well, I mean, like, you're the token representative of the Black Cats of America within this panel. So if you feel impelled to cook before me, my friend, the floor is yours. But if not, I'll assume.
Nothing. Just go ahead. I'm interested in what you have to say.
Nah, but I mean, like, well, we're on the eve of Juneteenth at this point now. But if you have any thoughts on the fact or on the matter, like, feel free after, like, fucking But
I was like, "It's a holiday now. What?"
I think
That's all I said.
that because I don't know when it went to effect, or I don't know if like it's gonna be like a paid federal holiday. But for
Yeah,
those
it's a
who
pay. It's
maybe
a federal holiday. I thought it would go into effect next year,
that I
but it
do know
turned
that
out it
it
was
did go
this
into
year.
effect this year. Yeah, that I do know.
That I didn't know. Yeah.
But if some of you guys that are watching abroad that maybe don't know about the subject, like Juneteenth is the celebration. I may be getting this wrong of like the news getting to Texas as far as the emancipation going into effect. Like I don't know why that got to Texas maybe later or like but maybe I should have brushed up on the subject prior to. But that's not like my point of making this my sub subject within this video. It was more of like the cringiness that I've seen as far as like corporations like throwing themselves into it, or like a lot of these. This is like more like with the New York area because I just came back to Jersey today. Fucking but I usually when I watch TV, a lot of times I'll watch shit that's like local and like they had like in like where I was staying, they had like the logo channel was for Delmarva, which is like Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, like the coastal area.
Yeah, I mean, I watch it all the time. Del Marvin now.
Yeah, that shit is corny as
I
fuck, bro.
watch it all the time.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, yeah.
but they had like a panel of a bunch of cats like fucking saying like talking about Juneteenth, and like within the panel it was like um probably like six black cats, two Asian cats, and like uh gay cat, like
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, there's not much news going around here, so they just kind of come up with anything.
yeah. But I mean like, and I get like I'm not like um putting them all in one bowl, like fucking if somebody gets offended by me speaking on whatever subject, and personally I don't give a shit and I don't mean to offend, but like to me it like as far as the like corporations throwing their weight behind it, and like the fact that like a lot of these white people that were probably um rooting like or like being apologists for cops like in 2018, saying, oh well, maybe he should have not got out the car, or maybe he should have done this differently and he would have not died. Like now all of a sudden like they're like completely done a 180 and like are like big time proponents of the struggle, if you will, like fucking I think a lot of that stuff is at least should be looked at like fucking in a guarded fashion. But to me, I mean, like, being that I think I have a little bit of foresight, or that I've been like sort of in tune with a lot of these subjects, like fucking I think, like, when they're throwing their weight behind it as far as the government goes, or as far as corporations go, to me it's always a reason for pause, or for concern, or for things to be looking at into deeply. Like, as far as in the political spectrum, like, too, like, it's to me it's a little bit sus that this is like the one boon that was given to the African American community, um pretty much this whole year. Like, there were laws that were put in place for violence against um people of the Asian community. Like, there were laws that were put in place for another group. I forgot. Oh no, it was Asian community. I'm sorry. Again, it was like where they made it illegal for you to speak on like the origins of the virus, as far as like uh location or country, if you will. Like, I don't want to get my shit kiboshed. But I mean, like, thankfully I haven't seen a lot of people making it seem like it's a big victory lap. Like, I think a lot of people that I'm cool with, like, online, like my man Born, like, who's also on YouTube too, look at it like with a little bit of distaste, or like suspicion, if you will, like fucking and I think people should look at it in the same sense, like fucking don't get complacent. Like, don't think that it's like like these cats throwing you a federal holiday, like, and it absolves everything, and like fucking we're good to go now, and like we really changed things. Because I'm pretty sure, like, whoever decided to make, or really really pushed for this to become a federal holiday, like behind the scenes, doesn't look like you and I. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
They're probably pushing something else, but I just kind of see it as what just another federal federal holiday, really. But yeah, I'm gonna let you cook on this, man. Like 4 a.m. here. I'm probably gonna knock out. So thanks for letting me on, and I'll be listening. I'll be tuned. I'll just be
now I'm
listening
gonna
in.
dip off too, fucking because I
Okay.
left my wife Dolly, and I ran out of wine anyway.
All right.
Fucking nah, but thank you for coming on, bro. Like fucking, I
Yep.
appreciate you and every one of the other people that are.
Mike Watcher lost one.
Yeah, Watcher lost one, Michael
Yep.
Johnson. Um, to those of you who didn't pop up in the chat, like, but that did listen, or that are gonna listen at a later time, like fucking good looks, like fucking but yo, like, before you dip off, man, Ty, let the people know where they can find you again.
Yep. You guys can find me at TS Boxing on YouTube. Yeah, really just boxing talk, honestly. If you want to talk to me about other stuff, because you guys can hit me up there in the comment section. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. And thanks for having me on.
You got to do TS fucking physics, or yo,
Yeah,
matter of
I
fact,
do
bro,
those
like,
as well,
I
but
in the future, and like, this is like kind of like leading a kind of like in the back end of like what I just said.
uh,
I'll let you go after this though. But when did you do like your basic shit in school?
uh so I feel like an old man because I'm doing my master's right now. I'm not even 23 yet. I turn 23 next month, but like basics, like what do you mean you mean
Like
college
like
level
math
or
1, 2, and
oh,
like
I had AP
sociology.
credit. I did that stuff. Well,
Like, what year?
all right, let's start. So my freshman year of college, I did multivariable calculus. I did Calc 3D, Calc 1, Calc 2,
Damn.
even a history course. Like I had AP credit, so courses that I took in high school that I would take an exam for, I got a score that I got it, and it would count. as those prereqs.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got like my first year, I finished most of my math for engineering. Math for engineering is nothing, dude. It's 3D calc and it's a ton of differential equations. That's it.
But did you take sociology, psychology?
No, no, I took maybe like other bullshit courses like in history. Like I took a Russian history course where we literally put our feet up and watched a movie every day. A gun rights course, which was like super liberal because I think at the time I took it, it was the worst timing ever, dude. I don't know if you remember the Pittsburgh shooting that killed a whole bunch of Jews there.
Um, Offhand, I don't. Oh no, no, I do actually. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. I got actually an Amber Alert because I lived so close to where it happened. I mean, the campus. I mean, well, I lived off campus. I lived about myself. I lived about 3 miles. I know people who lived in the neighborhood. I know people who live next door to the synagogue that happened there. And at the
Mm,
time, I was taking a gun rights course, so you understood how that went.
I see.
But yeah, basic stuff. Really not. I kind of sprinkled it in,
No, no.
if you
Well,
know what
like
I
when I
mean.
say basic, nothing to do with like English. I'm pretty sure you did that in
Yeah, I took
with
like one
your
writing course. That was it.
yeah.
We were
No, well,
forced
like
to.
the reason I asked is like because I did like I had to take remedial math because I fucking dropped out in high school.
Oh yeah, yeah. I Well, our
But I
school
had to take
doesn't
a lot of
really
the
have
basic
that,
courses.
but usually the lowest I think ours was like a form of pre-calc or something like that.
Well,
But
no, no.
most
The
people
reason
would
I'm
do.
asking this question, like I was wondering, like fucking but you're like way younger than me though, because like remember like my last like fucking school experience was like 19 fucking 97 or some shit.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
before I went to college, but like I was asking to see if you felt like they were pushing like a lot of the things that were like on the edge of like liberal, like while you were in school, like because I got that sense 100%, and I wasn't even
yeah.
like
On
as
that,
conservative.
definitely on the social science classes. I took the gen eds. Yeah, they were definitely pushing that. I took some gen eds, history gen eds, culture gen eds. Yeah, they definitely pushed it, but most of my classes were really technical, and
Uh,
they were really business. So
I see, I see. Yeah, no, because in the future I'm gonna try to cook on that. Like, the thing is too that like one like that, and the reason I want to speak on it is one like a lot of the mind frame that I have like now I've had for decades, but two like the school that I was attending like for college whatever was is the big like the fourth biggest community college in the country. But for the most part, a lot of the people that are there are fucking Spanish and black cats. And I saw it like and I say that for a reason because with a lot of that liberal bullshit like that they did push, like a lot of those cats that were in those classes, like you could tell like that wasn't really their stance, but like little by little like they would like adopt it in a sense. Cause like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure you didn't go through sociology, but I went through like certain classes that where they would kind of like push it like in all those classes like psychology, sociology, um
yeah,
this
yeah.
like
In high school, they kind of did the same, but I kept my head down usually. I was just focused on trying to get into a good school.
yeah. Well, maybe they did do that in high school. I just didn't notice, and since I went to high school so long ago.
Well, probably more during because I graduated high school. I don't know if I would even say fairly recently, but like 2016. So
That is fucking recent. That was when I started fucking college.
I
The
feel old because my brother finished 2019, and I know people finished in 2020, and I'm like, damn, 2020 already. Like, I've been out of high school for 5 years, but
shit, I was supposed to graduate in fucking 2000, so I'm fucking
damn,
old, bro. Your man's an old cat, bro. Lowe's is older than me though, bro, so I don't feel that bad.
yeah, Lowe's is like 43. I want to say 44.
Yeah, that's my brother too, bro. If anybody listens to this after the fact too, man, please subscribe to Lowe's Dawkins Pimpin'. I haven't talked to him in a minute though, like fucking offline at least. But yeah, man, like fucking I guess I'll cook on the whole liberal agenda like on a live like some other time, like fucking more in depth too.
Yeah,
But yo, let me
yeah, I
break
could
out,
probably
man.
tune in. All right, man.
Pardon me?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I'll probably tune in whenever you do that.
Nah, definitely, bro. Like fucking yo, thanks for coming through again, man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks
Stay
for
up,
having me
man. And
on, and peace out, everybody. Peace.
peace, bro. And to those that are listening, thank you for stepping in to the foul playland with me. As always, I'm your foul player, and I guys hope you guys um have a wonderful rest of weekend and happy Father's Day to all you fathers out there. If you're not an active father, like fucking it's never too late. Fucking don't be a buster. Like fucking your kids, especially your sons, fucking need you. Like don't get surprised when they act like fucking cornballs when they become 17 and they don't want to listen to your ass, or fucking don't think you could drop off a box of Pampers every 2 years and think you're doing a splendid job. Like fucking whether your wife's a bitch or ex-wife's a bitch or not, fucking you could always be a good dad. Fucking it's been the best experience of my life. Like fucking to be a father. Fucking and I hope you guys take that time and that little bit of time and become good dads too and fucking raise warriors instead of pussies.
Yeah, hopefully I become one soon. Probably within 2 years. I want to say I want to be it. Have a mini me.
And I don't
So
want to chicken hawk you either, my friend. I got mad love for you, Ty. But if I had a son that was like you, even though my son's great people, I'd be more than proud, bro. You're a good
right,
dude, bro.
yeah.
Fucking
Thank you,
I
thank you.
like you're headed for bigger things in this world. Like fucking if you guys don't know, like fucking Ty's a genius, but
Nah, no, not all that.
he's humble. But yo, with that, I'm out, man. I hope you
All
guys
right,
have a
yeah.
wonderful rest of the evening.
Everyone, peace out.
Peace, bro.